and welcome to the In Between Sets podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin, and this is your host,
Abigail. As always.
This is episode 8.
Yeah, we did mess it up last time.
I know. So I made sure that I was on track today.
Yep.
Holy moly, though, okay.
I usually know what you're about to say, and I don't. So I'm like, oh, what?
I just wanted to preface already, like, I went to go check my Flow app, like where I am on my period.
Oh, awesome.
I might actually tear up right now. Because I was like, why am I so emotional this morning? Because I was like, how lucky am I that I get to go just yap with my best friend? And this is what I get to wear to work. Yeah. This is what I get to do for a living, or like part of it. Not that we're getting paid for this or anything. But I was just like,
people don't know that.
I was like, yeah, you can pay us, by the way, to do this if you want. But I was like, man, I'm just so lucky. And I was like, why am
You started crying, didn't you?
Yeah, I started tearing up. I was like, why am I emotional this morning? I checked my Flow app. I started my period in like 5 days. And I was like, oh. I was like, that'll do it. That'll do it.
That'll do it.
But anyway, I just wanted to start with that. Because I was like, I'm so thankful.
That's me every day.
I was supposed to say, you probably experiencing.
Well, yeah, but it's like,
you know
me. I'm like never a crier.
No.
And like yesterday, I'm like at my friend Coretta's graduation, which, by the way, a freaking doctor. Shout out. Freaking cool.
Congrats.
She's like walking the stage, and I'm like tearing up like I'm a mom or something. It's like my friend.
So proud of my baby.
And I was like texting Kyle because he's out of town, and he's like, he said something about like, why are you excited as if you did something? I did nothing.
Because that's the female experience.
Yes.
That's the female experience.
Welcome.
We feel like your accomplishment's my accomplishment
exactly.
too.
But I'm usually so far from empathetic.
Oh yeah, no.
And yeah, man, this baby.
She's giving you a run for your
money.
money.
Actually, I have to tell you another funny story. Speaking of that,
so
we're at dinner after this graduation party, and I swear this was God like testing me, like mentally preparing me for being a mom. I like go to the bathroom in this nice restaurant, and I'm the only one in there. Mm-hmm. And I hear, I'm in the stall, the actual stall, and I hear this little girl, excuse me. I'm like, is she talking to me? Like,
yeah.
I don't. And I was like, yeah. She goes, can you wipe my butt? In the thing. And I'm like, is your mom in here? And she was like, no, she didn't come. I'm like, and then in my head, I'm like, well, maybe she's at the table. Like, I'm not going to just have a mom walk in and I'm like, wiping her kid's butt in the middle of. I was like, okay, well, I think you can do it. You got it.
Yeah.
Get the toilet. I'm like walking her through it. I'm like, I'm not. I don't even want to wipe my own kid's butt, like let alone the stranger in a restaurant.
Oh my! How old do you think she was? Did you ever see her?
Yeah, I did. Like I watched her walk out to a table with like just her dad and little brother. So I'm like, okay, her mom really wasn't here.
Yeah.
But like.
Did you not?
It's 2025. I'm not doing that.
You should have went up to the dad and be like, hey, by the way, this is
FYI,
what your little girl asked a stranger to do.
And there's some funny business going on. Not my fault.
Oh my God.
She was probably like 3 or 4 though.
Wait. Did you tell her?
Oh gosh.
Did you tell her to crumple it? Or did you tell her to fold the toilet?
You know I told her to crumple. Tori hates me right now.
I know.
She thinks
that's why I'm laughing.
A serial killer.
I know that Tori's like, you fold.
That's great. You won. You won it. But
that just reminded me of
do
y'all's
you
fight.
Use more than 3 squares?
Wow, we're really starting this podcast out strong today with like 500 inside jokes.
Oh gosh, nobody knows that one.
No one knows that one.
That was a good one.
Yeah, no one knows that one. But I just know that Tori's over here going.
She's pissed right now.
She's pissed. To it. She's like, you have to fold it. You don't crumple it. You fold it.
Oh yeah. Nope. I live my life. I also put ketchup on top of my fries.
That's fine. That's fine. I got into an argument. I swear we'll get on. What is it you texted me today? You're like, one thing about us, we're good at a lot of things. Staying on track. It's not one of them. I got into an argument It was a healthy debate. It wasn't an argument about whether a hot dog is a sandwich or not.
That's the stupidest argument ever. It's not a sandwich.
It's not a sandwich.
No.
It's just a hot dog.
I don't care. Don't argue semantics with me just because it has bread and
and a meat. No.
Shut up. That's not a sandwich.
Anyway, we got into a really healthy debate about it.
That's like the same person that argues that like tomatoes are fruits. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
I don't care the technicality or
no,
whatever.
but
anyway.
that was the heated debate. I'm not going to go into it, but you know my stance.
Yes.
You know my stance. Hot dog is a hot
It's
dog.
not a freaking sandwich.
Because then you could go a taco.
Yeah, shut up.
Is you know
Like,
what I
we're
mean?
not
You could
going
just
there.
start like really expanding. Like anyway, we're not.
Also, I really feel like if you hear me like breathing into the microphone, I like can't breathe out of my nose right now.
Why?
And I'm like kind of self-conscious about it.
Why? Well, I was gonna say something, but no, I'm just kidding.
It's all this extra weight I'm carrying around.
I was like getting to you already, huh? Pregnancy.
Yeah, it is. No, that's like the one symptom that I have right now is I get massive bloody noses.
Oh.
And I have like a super stuffed nose. Like I cannot breathe through it. It's the strangest thing.
You sound normal to me, if that helps. But I'm sorry if you can't breathe.
It's okay. My pants aren't even tight. Anyway.
That's good. Today, I'm like, that's great. Today's episode, 50 minutes into the actual episode, and we're going to tell you what it's about.
Do you think we'll ever get to a point where we start having haters because I'm pregnant and drinking an energy drink?
Bruh. No, it's not going to bring
Come
it
at
up.
me.
Yeah, come at her. What's your cap for caffeine a day?
200 milligrams.
Oh,
So I'm not like at home drinking an espresso and then chugging an
you
energy
could
drink.
basically have a white monster if you want.
That's what I'm saying.
Just kidding. White monster, a
Well,
little
this is
cig,
like-
a little zen to take the edge.
Did you say a little cig?
I'm just picturing you on your front porch right now with a white monster and a white tank top, being pregnant, like
Popping a Zen.
popping a zen. How y'all doing?
I said something to my mom where I was like, because I really want a deli meat, and you're like not supposed to have deli
Right.
meat, and I was like getting annoyed, like,
Yeah.
shut up, deli, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was like, back when like our parents were being born, so like our grandparents were giving birth,
Right.
they were like smoking cigs in the delivery room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, my parents turned out fine. And my mom looked at me and goes, Dad weighed 5 pounds, was a premium in the NICU for 3 weeks.
He was in fact not fine.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in fact
Fine.
not fine.
I will take care of my child.
Yeah, you're doing great with caffeine.
Oh, anyway.
Okay, today's episode, we're going to talk about the universal crash out experience of struggling in your 20s and 30s with your purpose or your timeline or what would you call it?
Like where you're supposed to be at in life.
Yeah, like the pressures of where you're supposed to be. So we're going to talk about the universal experience, crash out of thinking that we're all supposed to be on some strange same timeline. And I think like really we can even intro it as to kind of what you were saying about like when our grandparents and then our parents, like it was just kind of what you did. Like they kind of sold you this American dream, right? Of like, well, this is what you're supposed to do. And especially in the South. Especially in the South. Like you're supposed to, as a female, go to college, but you're going to college to find a husband.
Even like debatable. Yeah. Like you're going to college for an MRS degree.
Yeah. What is MRS? Mrs.?
Yeah.
There's like another saying or something like that, like something ring or something.
Ring before spring, I think.
Yeah. And so anyway, like you're supposed to do that, find your husband, have babies, have a job-ish, like not a career, but like a job. And then I think what I like about this generation that we are right now, like I'm a millennial. Are you a millennial? Mm-hmm. Okay.
The back end, I think.
The back end.
Yeah.
What I really appreciate about our era, I guess, if you will, is we're kind of breaking free from that. But like we still feel the pressures of it because of social media.
Well, I feel like it's like we break free from it in action, not in thought.
Right. Yes.
Where it's like, wait, I'm supposed to do X,
Yeah.
Y. Yeah.
I'm supposed to have XYZ by now. And then not only that, but like the unmet expectations that we put on ourselves just because of like, I know I'm like super guilty of that. Like I'm supposed to have made this much money by now. I'm supposed to have had this married, this kids, like, and I'm, 34 and that's where you go, damn, you're 34.
Golly.
Yeah. But like this I put that in my own head of
Yeah.
like, well, who says that I'm supposed to have had that by now? Literally no one, And so we kind of wanted to just break it down.
Well, and what I found interesting about both of us is that like we have like, we were talking about this yesterday. We have like the world's most supportive parents.
Oh yeah.
Like never once have I felt like the direct pressure from them of like, oh, when's babies and marriage and college and job and da 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 da. Like,
yeah,
we both have parents that are like, just, I don't know, queen support.
Yeah. I know.
Even between the two of us. Like,
I know. Abigail's mom texted me and was like, because Victoria and I came out with our cookbook yesterday, which it's amazing. We've gotten great support. But even your mom texted me and she was like, oh my gosh, is there anything you can't do? Like,
I know.
I love you so much. You did so great. And I'm over here like, thanks, Mom. Like,
I know.
awesome.
And any like big celebration, like your mom will text me. It's just like it's super supportive. So I find it interesting because I don't think the pressure comes like direct from them.
Yeah.
But even like just watching them, like they both like got married young, had kids, like not necessarily both high school sweetheart type things, but like, followed the typical like Southern American dream
For sure.
like
And,
fell
like,
in love,
here's-
got married, had kids, like
Want to preface, like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think what we're going to talk about a lot today is like how everyone's timeline looks different. Like, if your timeline looks like that, fantastic, great. If that's what, because like my mom only wanted to be a mom.
Yeah.
Like, that's all she wanted to do. She wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and I was just, that wasn't ever really my dream. Like, but at the time, I didn't really know what my dream was, to be very honest. Like, I felt the pressures from my parents growing up. I'm an only child. And so, like, it was be valedictorian or salutatorian, get to college, get your 4-year degree, do something in a stable, like, I felt the pressures of that. So when I was done with college and then I went to banking, I was just like, oh my God, I'm miserable. Like, because it's not what I want to do. I don't really necessarily know my purpose yet, but I just know that I'm miserable.
Yeah.
And like, it wasn't kind of until then, and then like to really deep dive, like I tried to do that. Like I tried to follow that American dream, like or whatever, like the Southern American dream. Got engaged right out of college, got married, like had a stable job, had all the things. Worked out great. Worked out so well for me. Like, no, got divorced at like 3 years in, and like, and that's not to say like neither of us weren't Christians or neither of us weren't it just
didn't work out.
It had a different, like, it literally, God just had a different plan for me. And I will go into that a lot too, of like how it feels to be in alignment with his plan and how it feels to not be in alignment with his plan for you. And like, kind of that way, that you're on the correct timeline, if you will,
Yeah. And I think a lot of mine, when we started talking about this episode, I was like, I don't know where like that came from for me either. But I do distinctly remember when I graduated college, I moved to Austin, and my group of friends, my ex at the time, like was all like a decade or more older than me.
Right.
And so like, I'm new out of college. Like, I'm not broke, but I definitely don't got like roots and money and all of these things, right? And that's like what I was surrounded with.
The bee cave in Westlake, money.
Like, all of that kind of stuff. And so like, I think it was just like subconscious of like, it was like a lot of keeping up with the Joneses of like, I'm supposed to do all this. And I don't remember, it's probably my mom, because she's like always the voice of reason, but of like, you're like, where were they at 20? How old was I? 21?
Yeah.
Like
literally
21 years old, like not there.
Yeah.
So it was like almost like a year. How long was it? A year, 2 years of like trying to like compare my 21-year-old self to like my 40-year-old friends.
Yeah.
And it's like,
which is a huge gap.
No shit, you're not where they're at.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like what? And so I think that like definitely caused like a lot of like, what am I doing with my life? Where do I need to be? I need like stability and just the whole keeping up with the Joneses and like, I'm not there yet. I don't have things figured out. Like, hurry up and get there type of thing. When it was like, dude, you had no business trying to do that.
No, not at all. Like,
and who cares?
Oh man, that's like what changed all of it for me. Probably like late 20s was you know, I'd completely uprooted myself from personal training, like we've talked about, went and worked for Dale, like went out there and I was like, why do I care so much about what other people think? Like, why do I care so much about like the perception of other people on how I choose to live my life? Like, once I kind of had that, and I swear it was like when I turned 30, like a flip just switched immediately, that I was like, oh, actually, this is my life.
I don't care.
And I actually don't care what anyone else thinks and how I choose to like, me and my best friend Michaela always kind of like laugh because we're like, as long as you're not like physically harming someone, maybe you're not necessarily like, you know, exotic dancing for a living, like, you know, that kind of thing. No one cares.
No shade.
No shade. No shade. But no one cares what you're doing at all in your life.
No.
Like, do what makes you happy. And like, in my opinion, when you're not doing the things that do make you happy, that do make you unique as a person, you are completely starving the world and the people around you of like your purpose and your goodness and all the things. Like your uniqueness is very special in how you choose to live your life and the things that like interest you and the things that like, one of my favorite things, I think I saw like on a TikTok, but it was like, how cool to just be living this world and someone shows you something like, oh my God, this made me think of you. And like, you're just out here living and existing and you have already like a vibe, quote unquote, that people associate to you because you're living your most authentic life. Like, that I think was just like what changed everything for me, and like also gave me a ton of confidence. Like a ton of confidence to be like, I don't care, I'm gonna try it. If I fail, I fail, cool, whatever. Like I just started attempting life because I was like, oh yeah, genuinely everyone's an idiot actually, so, and no one has anything figured out. So
yeah, I think there was like two moments for me. One was like the whole keeping up with the Joneses thing of like, I like found myself like dreaming of like this house, like gorgeous house. And don't get me wrong, like if you've followed me, like, you know, I do like doing home reno little projects and stuff, but like I would like see these like big houses and like, I don't know, pretty decor and like the whole family influencers and the people I was surrounded, all this kind of stuff, and like almost like envying it. And I'm like, never once in my life have I wanted a white picket fence house. Like, I would be fine in a van traveling around. Why is that? Like, what? Like, I don't even care about this. Yeah. And then the other thing, when we went to Spain for the honeymoon.
So recent-ish.
Yeah. Who are we? I don't know if it was like a waiter. Somebody we were talking to on the honeymoon. Oh, it had to have been the, we went on like a boat day thing. The guy was super cool. Anyway, we were talking and we were asking like differences. Like, what do you notice about like Americans? Because he was like in tourism and all this kind of stuff. I think I told you about this. And he was like, basically brought up that like Americans, like the first thing they always ask you is like, oh, hey, I'm so-and-so. Okay, cool. What do you do? Like, that's like the very first thing. And he was like, pointed it out that it was a very distinct difference in like the European culture of like, he was like, I don't even know what my friends do. Like, we just don't like talk about it or care about it at all. And like, you can see that in the way they live with like the, 2-hour lunches. Anyway, all this kind of stuff. They just like don't value that at all. And it's the same way with like houses and stuff. Like, they all have like little, it's just a place to like sleep. And I don't know. It just seems like so much less pressure on like following this timeline of like what you do, or like, oh, because you're a lawyer and you're a cook, like one is more valuable than the other type of thing. And I just found that like so interesting of like, and I've like, me and Kyle have both tried to do this of like, don't ask people what they do as like the first like intro question, because it's like, why? I don't actually care, number one. And like, why do we do that?
I think like, I don't ask people that, but you also kind of changed my perspective on this like a while back when people would ask me what I do, and I'd be like, oh, and I would play so small,
you're so nonchalant
about owning my own business, being a personal trainer, having my own business, having my own companies, all these things. I would just be like, oh, I'm just a personal trainer. It's like, just also, where's the passion in that? Like, this is like what sets your soul on fire. So like, say that about what you do, like have some kind of confidence and like, I'm trying to think of another word, but like have some oomph behind it. Exactly. Like, and so when I downplay it. And I was like, man, Abigail's right. Like, I especially if I am a leader in this, like in my own company, and I want people to feel like they can come work with me, like they can come be a client or something. Like, why would I just be like, I'm just a trainer,
just do this.
you know? So like, instead of asking like what someone does, like I'll kind of be like, what are you passionate about? Because I want to, like, I love when people talk about what they're passionate about. Like, I like, what do you like to fix whole cars? Do you like to play the drums? Do you like to play, like, you know, I want to hear about that. And like, I
don't care what you do to make a penny.
Yeah, like, unless that's your passion, like, unless that's like something that you're really passionate about, you get to do, and you kind of get to make money at it. That's top tier, you know, like that if you kind of get to do that. But like, I try to ask people like what they're passionate about, because I guarantee you they're not passionate about the same things I'm passionate about. Like,
not at all.
I want to know different things. Yes. I already know what I'm passionate about. I already know everything about that. I want to know what you're passionate about.
Exactly. That was kind of a tangent, but
it started
two things that kind of give you the realization of like there really isn't like this timeline when for you. I think it's recently been more like family. Yeah. And then for me, it's been more like I'm starting over in a career at 30. Yeah. So it's like I'm starting at the bottom again. So I think it's like we both have the same struggle, I guess. Yeah. But like two different sides of the spectrum.
What I think is really cool. So my girls group from the gym was texting yesterday because someone, I think Time Hop on Facebook, like came up with a high school picture.
That thing does me dirty, man.
Oh man, it does me so dirty.
It's like the rent.
What?
Like, you remember when like posting on people's wall was like a thing?
Oh my god.
It's those that I'm like, yes. Why did I post on your wall like sleep over tonight?
Yeah, can't wait. See you then. Like, wear your fuzzy slippers.
Are you gonna be at school tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Or like status updates kind of thing, right? Like I would put like Texas country music lyrics, like Kyle Park. Please stop. Stop. You're not cool. Not that I really thought I was cool anyway, but no. Anyway, so I think it was Austin. She like had a high school picture of her. Didn't look like her at all. Like she's super heavily tatted, jet black hair, and she was like kind of blonde, no tatted. You know, so we were just like, holy crap, who's that? You know,
who is that?
And she's like, let's see everyone's high school. Like, let's see everyone. It was college. Let's see everyone's college pictures. And I was like, nope, because I had this heavy swooped bang for far too long. I drank.
So did I.
I partied. Like I had.
Your style was lacking a little.
Style was very
Which is
country.
so funny though, because I remember thinking like, I love her style.
Maybe
and I like look back and I'm like,
maybe it was cool then. I don't know. I don't think so. But anyway, so it just like got me thinking, because like Lauren and I are the oldest in this group for sure. Like we're both 34, and like maybe the next one's 30, and then she's
34.
Yeah, she's like a couple months older than me. I know, she looks
Lauren.
great. I know, dude. It's so annoying.
I know. I thought she was my age.
No, you thought she was 28, 29. Why do I still think you're 28? I'm sorry.
I literally turned 30 in like 6 months.
People stay the same age in my head sometimes for a long time. Anyway, but people were sitting there like college pictures, and I sent mine, and like the running joke is that I've lived a million lives, like, and I truly have. Like I've gone through a lot, but like it just made me think too about like, because Kathleen even put some in there, and she's 24. You know, she's like, I'm 10 years older than her, and so her college pictures were like 2 years ago. Yeah. And I was just like, how neat though of it, and this is also maybe why I'm emotional, but I was like, how neat though to have all of these different seasons of lives, like all of these girls, like you can come together. And I think that's really cool about being friends with women in your 30s, not necessarily like maybe late 20s, mid 30s, like you are all in just completely different seasons. Like, so something I started thinking about kind of honestly this morning, and I was kind of excited that this was the topic that we were gonna like. I've struggled with, okay, I'm not married. I don't really have any like suitors right now. Like I don't have like, so I'm like, God, like if you watch Friends, there's an episode where Rachel's like,
but if you know anyone,
it like where Rachel's like, okay, so if I want a kid by 35, that means I have to, you know, be married for, like, I want to be married for at least a year.
That was me.
She keeps doing the backwards math, and she's like, so I would have had to have been engaged by now. You know, she's like having this breakdown. She's turning 30, and I'm like, that's kind of me, because like if I want to have a kid at all, kind of we got to get cooking on something, like dating or something, you know, like I gotta get cooking on something. So I kind of sat with myself this morning when I was doing devotional, and I was like, okay though, like Allie's about to pop any day now. You're now pregnant. Like you're in the midst of, moving or not moving, but changing careers.
Yeah.
I was like, how honoring of a position it is for me though to be the one without kids, the one that can support you with kids, the one that can be like, oh my gosh, you need me to go pick her up from dance recital? I'll be there, not a problem. Like, cool, she can just come hang out with me until we're done, like whatever. Like, how honoring of a position it is to actually be the child-free friend who is, and that
has
kind
the
of
time and the energy,
and the time and the energy to like support, and like, because when you think about like, oh, it takes a village, well, that's a part of the village. Like, as someone, and I wish I could be there more for like my other best friends who do have 2 or 3 kids that are like 9 now,
further
that live in
away.
Mexico, live in Houston, live like, it's not always easily accessible for me to come and like,
we need our compound.
yeah, I know. Literally, we send each other compound pictures a lot. Like,
Regularly.
imagine if we just had 5 houses here and a farm. Like, but I'm like, okay, so maybe it's for me at some point. Maybe God is like, sure, that is coming for you at some point, but like, it's not right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be really, really honored to be in the position that I'm in now. Like, to be able to bestow maybe some wisdom on like the late 20-year-olds like we're talking about today, who are just like Brooke, for example, who's just kind of a very in between season, doesn't like her job, like is trying to find a new job, like I can be someone she can talk to. And like, so I was like, okay, rather than hating on and being sad about where I'm not in my life, why don't I just, it's like a quote that I've seen like a million times, but like, I'll never have this version of me. Why don't you sit and be with her?
Yeah.
So like, this version doesn't look like what I thought it would, which is the whole episode,
The pressure,
and the pressure, but like, kind of so what? Like, I will just continue to be like honored to be in the position that I'm in.
Yeah. And I think about it like, I mean, like when you look specifically for like the family, the kids, I mean, really honestly, even for like me, the job and stuff like that, like you look at all of the biblical stories, like Abraham and Sarah and like all these people of like they literally laughed at like God's timing essentially, right? Like, and they're like told, like given all these promises of like father of many nations, don't even have a kid, like all this kind of stuff. And it's like to me, I look at that and I'm like, no, he purposely waited to the point where it's like, this literally could not have happened unless it was me doing it. So like, I have to take away all credit that like you could give yourself.
Right.
You could give, like, it all has to be like credited to me, and this is the only way it's going to happen. And I'm sure there's like a million other reasons why, but like,
like
I look at that for,
we're taught you, it's the season that not season we're in like a little chapter that we're in at church right now, right? Like our little like what we're talking about. And it just made me think about, like, I put in my notes, because this was like maybe last church, not this past Sunday but Sunday before, where in Genesis 15:1 it says sometime later.
Yes.
And it's 13 years later that Abraham and Sarah were like waiting for a kid that was promised to them.
And they were old.
And they were old. And I was like, sometime later is so vague. And
So
that's
vague.
so God.
Annoying.
That's so God. Like, to just be like, someday. And you're like, but when? Like, but when? Yeah. It's promised to me. Gimme, you know, like selfish little kids. But like,
but I mean, it's like the same thing with me and like having a kid and trying to go to med school. It's like, God's like laughing, because it's like at the end, it's like nobody else could have credit for that.
No.
Like,
No.
If that all works out, like, it's not me.
Yeah. No.
Like,
yeah.
So it's like he's everything that like is of the Lord is always like so counter to like the world's view. And it's just so hard because we live in the world and we're like present in it, and
For
like
sure.
all that kind of stuff. So it's like very hard to not let the pressure of like do X, Y, and Z this way.
Yeah.
But it's like every single thing is opposite.
Yeah. Literally. Like I think the biggest thing, and why, like, going back to even that service, you know, I think my Pastor Craig was like, we as humans want all of the details. Like, okay, I promise that you'll, like you told Abraham and Sarah, I'll promise you'll have kid, like you'll have father of nations, all the things. And they were like, okay, can I get that mapped out? Like, you know, can I get the whole, like, we type it into Google Maps, it's going to tell you where the hazards are, where like traffic slows down a little bit, you know, like we want all of those things. We want every little detail, but God doesn't, like, if he were to give us all of that, we wouldn't go.
We wouldn't go.
We'd be like, oh, that looks hard,
Yeah,
or that looks
no
messy,
thanks.
or that doesn't look like it I thought it would look like.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times, especially in my 20s, that I was just like completely baffled by like where God chose to take me and what he chose to do with me. And I was, because sometimes like, I think also that's where I hit my point in my 30s was just like, then like, you know what? I got no clue. So why don't we just do this your way?
Yeah.
And I'll
Exactly.
throw in the towel of what I thought I wanted, but like he doesn't trust, or like, not that he doesn't trust us, but like he only wants to get, yeah, right. I wouldn't trust me either if I were him. But like he gives us one step at a time.
Yeah.
And that's why I think too, when you think back of like God asks us to worry about today because tomorrow is too much for us to handle.
Yeah.
And that's where we get really caught up in comparison.
Oh yeah.
Like where we'll go, especially Instagram, like, well, so-and-so has 2 kids by now and she looks so happy and she looks like she has it all and has it together and whatever. And like, you don't know.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea what she's struggling with. I think that was also like the click for me was like, especially talking with like Lauren and you and Waverly and like all these different people on their different paths of going, oh, we're all crashing out.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
Oh, this isn't unique to me.
yeah, this isn't unique to me at all. Like maybe
But
I have a different approach, but
When you bring up like the social media side of thing, what I find so interesting is that it's almost like we all know this, right? Like I know it. I mean, I see it firsthand. Like, and again, it's not a negative thing to you, right? But it's not like sometimes you have to show up because that's where your business is, right?
Yeah.
So you're posting about your cookbook or your programs or these things launching and like X, Y, and Z and this and that. And like you're having the worst day ever.
I can
And it's
literally see a season of my Instagram where I'm like, I was depressed during
Yeah.
this whole chunk right here. And I look
Yeah.
happy, depressed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's like that almost kind of gave me like a peek of like, I see that on a firsthand basis. Like, but we all know that. Like you see so many people where it's like your life is falling apart and you look like it's like not.
Yeah.
So why do we still fall for it? It's like
Yeah.
the strangest thing for me. I've never been able, I guess, to like wrap my head around it of like, I already know this. like,
I get that
why?
comparison a
Why are we
lot.
like that?
Megan's kind of helped me kind of recognize that because like I looked at her business, like she's our personal trainer for bodybuilding and, for getting you through the baby.
Shout out.
Yeah. And so but I would kind of struggle with her, not comparing myself in bodybuilding because I had nothing to compare to. I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to look like or what I'm supposed to be doing right now. But it was in my business where I was like, I'm in this impact group and I'm like, everyone is just like, just kind of going and they're rolling, they're picking up clients, whatever. And I might be struggling in a month where I'm like, maybe you got 2, and she was like, Caitlin, you don't, and some of these people are in their early 20s. And I'm like, I'm 33, at the time. And I was like, ugh, I should have it figured out by now. And that's like what always comes up in my brain is I should have it figured out by now. Like,
And then you realize like literally nobody has it figured out.
no one has it figured out. Like we're all just taking stabs in the dark. Like, and that was also kind of, but that's so freeing to be able to be like, then why shouldn't I do what I really want to do and like my purpose here on earth? Or maybe you don't know your purpose. Like I think we should talk about that too. Like maybe you have zero idea as to what you should be doing, like, and like what your passion is and what like sets your soul on fire. Maybe it's not working the bank. Maybe it's not finance. Maybe it's not like all like working a 9 to 5. Maybe it is like, but it's so freeing to kind of think about, okay, well, if no one knows what they're doing or why they're doing it, well, then why am I just like sitting here trying to play the game?
Yeah.
Like of the American dream that was sold to us like a really long time ago.
Yeah, exactly.
But
well, and it's also like realizing that nobody has it all figured out. They're all just like, we're literally all just like having the human experience, right? But it's like the difference is like they're just like taking action, whereas like I feel like sometimes, definitely you and I, we get like what's like paralysis, like
oh yeah,
what's that phrase?
Paralysis by analysis.
Yeah. Of like over analyzing, and then you like end up doing nothing, like
Yep.
decision fatigue so bad that it's like, wait, now I can't do anything. And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, you literally have just as much capability as like, or more, X, Y, and Z, but like they're just taking action.
Yes, literally that's sometimes the only difference
Yeah.
is that they are taking action. Like
Yeah.
when people ask me about like my business and stuff, I'm like, I don't know if like, I've been in business for myself for 3 years now. Like I've had my coaching business like for 2 years on the side before it was like my main thing. But like for those 3 years, I felt like, and I think that's why I put the pressure on myself of like, well, I should be further along by now, because I can see and look back all the times where I didn't really take action.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, oh my God, this is really overwhelming. I have no idea what to do. I have no direction. I have no, like, I don't know. But then I look back and I go, okay, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, this is your trajectory, and maybe it worked out that way so that you could go do A, B, and C, you know, or whatever. Like, but it was kind of, I think that pressure was put on me of like, well, I see everyone else taking action. Why am I not?
Yeah.
You know, and
I'm the same way in a different sense of like, I think that like, I think subconsciously, just how I grew up and everything, it's like, if you're not, like, I felt like when I was getting out, I was making a decision for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing for 20 years?
Oh,
because,
yeah.
like, success is, like, being in a career, retiring, like, this and that. And that was something, like, you and I talked about, me and Meg talk about, like, of, like, dude, you, like, why?
yeah.
Like, why is a 20-year job, like, why is somebody miserable for 20 years considered successful, but somebody who, like, started and failed multiple businesses not successful, but they're, like, happy type of thing? And it's like, dude, you're not making a decision for 20 years. You're making, like, okay, what am I going to try next? And if I hate it, I'm going to do something else,
Right.
type of thing. I think that for me was, like, super freeing of, like, yeah, like, I am going to try and go to med school. And, like, if it doesn't work out and I hate it, like,
Yeah.
it's not a failure. Just do something else. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
it's taking the pressure off yourself of, like, this has to be, like, sustainable for X, Y. I don't know if that makes sense. But
No,
yeah.
it does, because here's the thing too. Like, and I've talked to you about this all the time, and it's almost like I need the reminder a lot. But like, you know, God's provisions are best read backwards. That's what helps me a lot. If I don't think like anything, like I just put in my notice with Compete Every Day, right? Like that was yesterday, because I'm going all in on myself again. Like I've been doing the social media for him for a long time, 3 years, I think. Like, and it's been great. It's given me a lot of opportunities. Like I love Jake so much. He's become like a really good friend and a mentor. Like amazing.
Yeah, you weren't like leaving for negative
no
reasons.
In fact, it gave me anxiety, because I was like I'm sorry, I just feel like this is something I have to do. Like I don't really want to let you down.
It was kind of a safety net for you.
It was a safety net.
You from going
it was
all in.
preventing. My dad said it literally. He said it the best. It was like I was trying to go in this room and I'm reaching for something, but my foot is keeping like the screen door open, and I was never going to be able to reach it unless I removed my foot and stepped into the room completely. Shout out my dad. He's like the most wise.
Dude, you guys always have like these analogies.
We're because we share one brain cell.
Yes, you do.
So
like Caitlin's got an analogy for everything.
Yeah, we share one brain cell, my dad and I. But like, I look back at all the times that God showed up in my life when I had no idea what would happen.
Right.
Like no idea. I just kind of was like, prayed about it, had some sort of discernment of like, okay, I think this is the next step, like quitting Golds and moving to Dale, taking a huge pay cut, you know, all these things. I was like, okay, I see the vision, God. Like I kind of see it. I think you'll provide. I trust you'll provide. So I guess I'm just gonna I'll just go. And if it doesn't work out, that's also okay, because it just means that he has something else for you.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
like I think that's what you're saying, you know, is kind of, rather than taking this 20-year and like banking on that things won't change, that okay, this is just what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, cool. Like that's so much pressure to like assign yourself something for 20 years, like other than your spouse,
right?
and a kid, like
that one's you stuck with.
you stuck with. But like, you know, but kind of assigning that like leaves no wiggle room for God to just do something like totally amazing out
and
of
it's
nowhere.
Like, you look back also, so like I think of when you're talking about like looking backwards, right? Like coming to Texas for recruiting duty, like never in my plan.
Right.
I like wanted nothing. I actually tried multiple ways to like.
I was gonna say, you didn't even want to do recruiting.
No, didn't want to move back to Texas quite yet. Like, was not happy about that. Job still wasn't great, but I like look back and I'm like, is such a God thing, because it's like I came back, we reconnected, our friendship is better than ever.
Yeah.
Found the church that I'm at, that I'm in love with, met my best friend,
Yeah.
you know, through that church.
Yeah.
met Kyle,
Yeah.
got married, and now I'm having his kid.
Yeah.
Like all these things,
Yeah.
all because like my plan got screwed up.
Ye-
So it's like,
yeah.
why are we trying to will our plans to happen when like
Yeah.
I was all who's it? Jonah. I was Jonah, like trying to go that exact opposite way, and he's
Yeah.
like,
God's
"You going
like,
here?
still need you to go here.
Congrats! Now you got a husband, a best friend, a
Yeah.
church, a school, like all these things," and you're like, "Oh,
There's that, I guess, TikTok or
Interesting.
Instagram trend going around, like the butterfly effect. Like, what do you mean had I not gone to Texas?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. I'm like, no, sweetie, that's God going, no, I need you over here. That's not a butterfly effect. That's God
that ain't-
being like, hey.
you call it whatever you want."
Yeah,
but
you
we
can call it
all
whatever you
know.
want, but that's God nudging you and, like towards your purpose and like what you really want in life. Because I think it's wild to me, like, okay, what do you mean that God knows that what I want, like what's on my heart? Because he placed it there.
Mhm, he put it there.
He put it there. And then also, like, he's also going to give it to me.
Yeah.
Like, if I live in accordance into his purpose, like, he's going to give me that. And, like, also because he wants good for me. Like, dude, sometimes I get so mad at myself
Dude,
for
all the
stressing
time.
out. Like, I'm like,
Why?
why? Like, why are you so stressed out, man? Like, about not knowing your purpose,
It literally
about
always
not.
works out.
It literally always works out. And, like, the other thing, too, Brooke used to laugh at me, and I think you've laughed at me a time or two before about this, but, like,
Wouldn't be surprised.
I laugh at myself all the time. What is it, like the lucky girl syndrome? But, like, where everything works out for me, like, everything's going good, everything, like, oh, what do you mean? Like, I got free tickets to the American. Did I go? No, like, because I like didn't really want to go, but like things just always happen to me and things are always coming to me because like I would rather think it's not delusion, but I would rather think that good things are happening to me constantly rather than thinking that bad things are happening to me.
There's this is a tangent.
Yeah.
But you brought it up, so I have to.
What do you mean a tangent? Us going on a tangent?
A tangent? I'm like looking at this notes, like we've
hit maybe two things.
None of these things, but you're welcome. No, that perspective of like things are always happening to me or whatever. Mm-hmm. Some call it manifestation, some call it joy, some call it like all these different things, right?
Yeah.
But like, if you have that perspective, like you notice all of those things,
right?
Then you meet those people that it's like life is always happening to them. Mm-hmm. Like if it's not this thing, it's the next thing, and it's always a bad thing. And I'm like, dude, you're never gonna see anything. All you look for is like,
how is
life is happening to me, and I want to be like, hate to burst the bubble. Mm-hmm. The universe, God, whatever, does not. It is not happening to you.
Right.
Like they're not. Yeah. It's not out to get you.
Right.
You're just choosing to see every negative thing, and that's all you're going to continue to see. And then you see somebody else who's like joyful and like living in their purpose, all this kind of stuff, and you're like, they're so lucky. And it's like, are they lucky, or are you just only seeing the good things in them and only seeing the negative things in you? Which hopefully that kind of all made sense. But
no,
like
I life is happening for you, not to you. No. Like you're not a victim to life. Like there are so many people out there with awful stories, like things that just like you can't even fathom happening to them or happening to a person. You're like, oh my gosh, like, you know, there's some bad things that have happened to me, but like, gosh, why would I waste this life? Like, like this is, I think, my only shot at life. Like, you know, I don't think we come back. I don't know. I might come back a butterfly. Who knows? But like, you know, this is my one shot at this life. Like, why am I going to waste it being like so negative about like what's happening to me?
Like your life doesn't get better doing that.
No.
And I feel like it's like a personality trait or like a an excuse to like not put effort in, because
it's just
like,
a decision though.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
Why live like that?
Listen,
and don't get me wrong, like I have days where I'm like, woe is me.
We love being a hater. Like I love being a hater.
But that is not like the general like how I live my life. Like I'm not gonna choose like.
I think too, it's difficult for some people who are in that though.
It's hard to get yourself out of it.
It's hard to pull yourself out of like, okay, where am I choosing to see the negative? Where am I choosing and gravitating towards the negativity?
Well, you have to call yourself out.
Yes,
and it's like
very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable for people, and I mean very uncomfortable for me because I definitely have been there before, and it's like hard to be like, no, you're the like, I always think of it like sometimes you wake up and you're like, why am I mad the ground is on the ground? You know those days?
Yes.
And you look around and you're like, oh, no.
You do that sometimes.
I'm the problem.
Yeah, you do that
like,
sometimes.
I'm the problem. Like, you have to like call yourself out on it. And like, I think like I still have that tendency, but I'm much better at like recognizing it and pulling myself out of it quicker now.
Right, yeah.
Where it's like, literally nobody's doing anything, like you're the one with an issue right now, type of thing. And that's like very hard for people, and this had literally nothing to do with like,
it's okay. It was a good tangent. It was a good tangent because I think it's important that like you are in control of so much more in your life than you think you are. You're also not in control.
You're also not at all.
You're also
like,
not in control.
You're in control how you respond to things.
Yes. And I think that that's like a good tie-in as to what we're talking about, the pressures of your 20s and 30s and having this timeline and stuff like that. Like, yes, I could very much look at our lives and go like, oh man, that sucks that I don't have kids. That sucks that I don't have a husband. That sucks that I don't have blah, 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 like a house. I live in an apartment, blah, blah, blah. Or I could go, oh my gosh.
How cool this is. I have so much time.
I have so much time that I could give into other people and give into my business and my clients. I have an apartment that's super cool. It has a really nice pool. Emma loves it. We go on daily walks by the river. Like, there's just two perceptions that you could really look at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Perspectives, yeah, that you could look at. And I think that that's how it helps to take the pressure off your, like, when you're not in, like, you think you're on this timeline.
Yeah. And something's always going to come in and like ruin the timeline.
Yeah. Again, because
so it's like
God wouldn't be God if he didn't come in and mess up our plans a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I say that because like I've been in that position where I was dating someone twice, where I was dating someone where God literally, like, I just had this vision of him.
Can I pause you really quick? Sorry, this is a funny thing.
Yeah.
Whenever we're doing this, do you like play a game in your head with yourself and you're like, wait, which one of her exes is she talking about?
Yeah.
Nobody else knows that, but like I'll say it, I'm like, I bet she's thinking
where's she going with this one? Yeah, where's she going with this one? Well,
I probably just
it was two, but like where you're going down a terrible path for yourself, and it brought me comfort, like in the first one that I'm talking about, when I recognized that God will literally, like, if you are not going to change the course,
he's going to give you the signs and then he's going to force it.
And it's almost like he just took a tornado and just completely trashed that journey, like that path that I was trying to go, like destructed it. And he was like, I said this one, like I gave you opportunities to go down it, but now I'm just going to completely tear it all down so that you have to go this way.
Correct.
And I was just like, fine. But like, because he knows best for us and like is trying to not, like, my guardian angels have worked overtime on those two relationships that I'm talking about, where they were just like, hey, this way, get out of this. You are not listening. You are not listening. You are not obeying. You are not, like, and that I think kind of helps tie in this relationship. Like, a lot of people ask, well, how do I know what my purpose is? Well, how do I know? Like, because I mean, you used to like be like, I have no idea. Like, and you're freaking out. You had like 3 years left. Like, you had time left to like figure it out, but you were like,
I've like always been that way though, like the 20 years down.
Yes.
Like that is like the biggest issue that I have, well, that me and God beef about.
Did you take the Enneagram test?
I did.
Are you 6?
No.
Okay, never mind.
But it was the second one or it was the first one that you thought it was.
A 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew it.
Where it's like, I like to have like, do this, then do this, then do this, then do this. And I'm like, I'm a good listener. I'm very coachable. Like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
But we just don't get that in life.
Yeah, no.
And so it's like, I like to have it lined out. And you're just not designed to have it all lined out.
No.
Anyway, you were saying about, what were you saying? Oh, what is your purpose?
Yeah. So people ask, like, well, how did you know what your purpose was? Like, how did you know you wanted to be a personal trainer? I was like, well, I mean, to be honest, like, I didn't. Like, out of high school, I thought I was going to work. I went to A&M at an economic degree. I thought I'd do something with, like, feed, like, supply, like, horse feed, cow feed, like, all these things. Like, I went and, like, shadowed a guy that worked with Purina. You know, like I kind of just thought that was like what I was like, I guess I'll do that. I wanted to be a sports broadcaster, but it was like my senior year of college. And I was like, there's no way I can go back. Like I'm getting out. Like there was times when I didn't really know, you know, like, and I was 24, 25 by the time I was like, okay, I guess I'll be a personal trainer. I really like it. I like working out. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do this forever. Like, and I didn't really know even then what it was going to look like now and how that's going to like kind of transpire over the time. But like we're living in purpose in accordance with God when like we're involving him in our daily lives and like our next tasks and our like that's how you will be able to hear from him and have that discernment on what your purpose is and like what your calling is, or like anything that kind of like you feel like the bigger picture of life is for yourself. Like when you're living next step with him.
Correct. And I think that like the whole alchemist, like the purpose is the journey type of thing. Yeah. But like, I think a lot of times I can't remember who I was talking to. It'll probably come to me like 3 episodes from now. But anyway, I was talking to this guy about like your purpose and stuff like that. And he was talking about like, you know, he was like played music. And was basically saying something along the lines of like, if his purpose is not playing music, because if something were to happen, like he broke his arm in this and now he can't play music, does that mean he no longer has a purpose in life? And like, no, that's not the case. So he was like, basically getting to the point of like, my purpose is to like serve God and like show him to the world, and like in whatever opportunity is like brought my way. So like when you start like going down that path, because sometimes I hate that answer because it's like, okay, but like tangibly, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
But I think as you like lean into that and you like keep saying yes, like things get revealed to you.
Yes.
So like when it came to like deciding about going to school and stuff a lot, like even now if I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really like, especially now, like all this kind of stuff, but it's like doors just started opening, you know, like things just start happening, and it's like, okay, as long as you're like walking in his will, and like even, you know, you start like journaling and you start to like learn about yourself, like this is what I'm good at, these are the gifts he's given me, like this and that, like things start happening for you that like allows you to walk in the purpose, and then the purpose is the journey.
Yeah.
And it's like,
dude, you just hit the nail on the head on all of it. Because like one thing that I tell people about, like, well, you know, this business and stuff that I do, but like if it comes with anxiety and confusion, it's not from God.
No.
It's not from God, and you're living kind of outside of his will, which we're allowed to do. We're allowed to go do whatever we want to do. But like when you're living and like you see all the opportunities come, you see like kind of the doors open, you get like confirmation from other people that do not know what you're doing. Like that girl that came up to me when I was talking to Rachel, and she was like, hey, like I just listened to podcasts, I followed you, blah, blah, blah. What you're doing is great. And I just wanted to share a word with you. And I was just like, I just looked at her like, oh, thank you. You know, because here I am like trying to give this part of my other job to my friend Rachel, who's going to do a way better job than I, like, you know, but so that I can dive deeper into my own stuff. And like, she just came out of nowhere to like confirm what I was doing. And so like, when you are living in accordance, like it will have clarity, it will come with peace, it will come with joy, it'll come with confirmation. And when you're not, like, it's going to feel, I think that's literally half the reason I had anxiety for 10 years was because I was doing things that were just like completely against what I wanted to do, or, you know, what I knew to do. Yeah.
And I think too, when you're not, it's so easy, like one negative comment or one like sign of like jealousy or like whatever from somebody, you're like, oh wait, like I shouldn't be doing this. In the same sense, like when you are, it's like, yeah, that's like kind of annoying that I heard that, but like I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to because of like all of these different things.
Also, when you're doing what you need to be doing, you're gonna have some haters.
Exactly.
You're gonna have some haters. You know, some jealous people.
Exactly.
So like, can't listen to them, or you'd never do what you're supposed to do.
Correct.
Because God, like, devil works hard when you are in your purpose. Hard to like put in like doubt and discomfort and all the other stuff. Like when you're not living, or like when you're living in your purpose, man, the devil hates it. So it'll feel uncomfortable, but anyway, Is that it?
Okay, that's it.
It's like, wait, is that it? Did we just like, is that,
did we end unintentionally?
Checks notes.
Yeah. Wait, you had a journal prompt, I think.
Oh, I did. That's right. So
challenge,
surprise from us. What? My clients are gonna be like, "Jeez, this girl,
she already did this to us."
Yeah, this girl prompts us all the time. What pressures am I carrying that God never asked me to?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I didn't even read it. I just saw journal prompt.
Yeah. And then I just put like reminders. Your 20s and 30s are for becoming and not performing. Encouragement to walk in faith and not fear and comparison.
That made me
go ahead.
Happy because my friend, her little thing was return to become.
Oh.
Anyway.
No, it's perfect. See? Confirmation. Confirmation. But like I just that prompt, like what pressures am I carrying that God never asked me to, is just, I think, all encompassing of this whole talk. Like,
and I think it's like sit with it.
Yeah.
Because like, I think I've definitely asked myself that like multiple times, and it's like you kind of have to like dig in, like, okay, ask again, because it's like, what pressures am I carrying? Oh, the pressure to like be pretty.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not that that's not real, but okay, but like, what else?
Yeah.
Okay, but like,
or but why?
Else?
Why is that the first thing that comes to mind? Why is like, who are you trying to be pretty for? Okay, well, you know, myself. Well, why? Well, because like I never felt like enough. Well, why did you not feel enough? Like, you know, you just kind of, it's the onion. It's the Shrek, the ogres are onions. Like, you just keep peeling back the layer until you get to the core of going, okay, this is the actual pressure of what I'm expecting myself, and how can I? And then the after prompt is going, okay, once you figure it out, how do you plan on letting it go? How do you plan on surrendering it? How do you plan on not living by it? Oh, yeah.
We're like talking about this like, oh, we don't struggle with the pressure anymore. And it's like, that's probably a daily conversation for both of us.
Bruh. This is a conversation we just like, again, you're never really here. Yes. It's just Abigail and I. Like, it's just us going, no, exactly. No, exactly.
No, really.
To each other. No, but really. No, exactly. That's what I say. I say that all the time. To myself in the mirror when I'm crying. Anyway.
Exactly.
So that's your journal prompt. That's today's episode. Yeah, like, subscribe, share with your mom.
Yes. Oh, and we have what was I going to say? We had one more thing to say. Oh, advertise your dang cookbook, yoo-hoo.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Caleb wrote a cookbook.
Yeah,
did we say it already?
Bro, I did not write that.
Well, you and Victoria wrote it. Sorry.
Victoria did a lot of legwork. Yeah, she did. A lot of legwork.
She did.
Yeah, I just went to Victoria probably like December, and I was like, hey, a lot of my moms and a lot of my busy people, like, also me. Like,
I need new recipes.
Also, kind of tired of eating green beans and chicken for every meal, because I'm just a creature by habit. It's not like I like, you know, I'm just lazy and I just like, I know that works and whatever, I don't care anymore. But I asked Victoria, because she's like an amazing cook, amazing chef. And she also is, I think, borderline more granola than you. Like,
oh wow, okay.
You know, does not like, buys organic only. Water is in the fridge in a like container because she likes to purify it differently than I. Anyway, so I was like, you come up with, oh yeah, you guys could have a lot to talk about in that way, but you come up with recipes. I'll tell you kind of what I'm looking for, because I don't want these to be hard. Like, I don't want these to be other cookbook stuff where you're like, I'm supposed to do this for 1 hour before. What? Like, no one has time for that kind of stuff. Like,
this ain't your sourdough cookbook.
Yeah, it's not like
simple,
Rachel Ray, like, or who, I don't even know who's out there anymore as far as cooks
Emerald.
Go. That's how much I don't cook. Yeah, right. So Emily, she slid in my DMs, or I think she commented, and she was like, is the chicken and banana and peanut butter honey recipe in there? I was like, it's at the very back, small print. Victoria would let me put it in there. But like, I wanted my moms to be able to cook something for their family and then turn around and also fit their macros. It also serve their goals as to what they're trying to do. So in the cookbook, there's the recipes, but there's also the serving count and the macronutrients per serving. And I tried to try to get Victoria to kind of rein it in a little bit on like the butter, added oils, that kind of thing, because I'm like, listen, like, we don't actually need that much. So it's good for her to kind of see like what she's like, I don't really ever measure anything. So it's kind of good for her to see too, like what she was putting in, and kind of have, this is just why I say this, but like having an awareness of what, like, that's why we track macros. That's why we count calories. Like, just what you don't know, you don't know. So like creating some awareness in it. And so, yeah. And now it's out. It's been way too long.
Oh, it's the first time I can say this.
What?
The link will be in the show notes.
Are you going to do that? Because I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I do know.
Okay.
That one I do know how to do.
It's like, go off, queen, because I don't know how to do that. Yeah, the link will be in the show notes.
Look at us.
Cool.
Pretty sweet.
Anyway, all of my one-on-one clients get the cookbook for free.
Oh, that's awesome.
So if you do sign on with me at any time, you guys get it for free. But when you go and buy it, Victoria gets all the money.
Oh, nice.
I don't get anything. It's just on my website. I just wanted
and we love Victoria, so go support her.
Yeah, go support Victoria because she's amazing. But yeah, that's it.
Sweet.
Cool.
That's it.
Catch you next time.
Later, loser.